So now they're sort of negotiating what they think the best things were that they saw from their observations, and they're going to share those out to the group as a whole so that everybody can get the benefit of them. Not this. No. Just the good stuff right now. Okay, time's up. All right, who's going to be my speaker over here? Katya. Who's going to be the speaker here? Moisa. Who's going to be the speaker here? Neda? Neda's going to be the speaker? Okay. Who's going to be the speaker over here? Who's the speaker here? Yes, Patricia, way to go. I love that you're talking more. That's so fantastic. Who's going to be the presenter here? Valkyria. And who's presenting here? Okay, wonderful. Okay, get your thoughts ready to go, and please be a good audience because you might hear some things that are interesting I saw like some pretty cool examples of handouts and activities as I was walking around, so I think you'll be interested to hear what everyone else has to say as well. Is there any group that wants to go first and get it over with? All right, Moisa.
I'm going to give example of We5. She gave examples of output explaining the students use someone says and also using Trema. The one I like and I want to use is Hangman for vocabulary. I have used Hangman, but I have never thought about doing what he told us to review vocabulary. She told us that it's comfortable to give the students the whole explanation of the steps they're going to follow. It's interesting for us. And Giovanna said about quiz. And I also gave
quiz. Okay.
And I gave them idea to open the YouTube of a silent movie called This Side Up. The film is used to use present tense, the perfect tense, present perfect tense. And then the teacher asked the students, at the beginning, it has happened, yes or no? And the students follow the whole movie explaining the idea of the movie. It was very interesting and useful.
Do you have a copy of that activity?
Yes, I have it home and I'm told that I'm going to.
Yeah, if you could send it to everybody. So there was a fun YouTube-like quiz.
Something to copy this. I will send to you and you send
Yeah, absolutely. We had role play, we had Hangman for vocabulary review, examples of fully outlining a procedure or a project before it starts, and then you had a quiz.
With motivation.
Motivational quiz.
Is different because she gave extra points to the homework if the score was very low in the quiz. If they have done the homework,
she would add extra points.
Yes, she would.
Okay, so using homework to add points to a quiz if the score was low can sometimes be, a good reason to do homework, right? If you can add some points to your quiz. Good. Any questions about any of those things that they just talked about?
Please have the paper and he's going to explain.
Okay, so you're going to explain more about the YouTube?
This paper?
Yeah.
The teacher, forgot the name of the teacher. William, yeah. William gave, first he explained the simple past and present perfect progressive. And then he asked the students to give him some examples of sentences using the present perfect, using the word since and for. And then at the end of the class, he gave this paper to the students, and with animation called This Side Up. This Side Up. We can find it in YouTube. It's easy to find.
Okay.
And some 20 questions using the present perfect tense about the animation, and here short answers. The students watch the film, the animation, and then answer the questions.
And you can copy and send to
Yes, if you can get me a copy of that, I might just take that with me today, if that's okay. Okay? Great. Thank you. Next. Okay, Neida?
Well, our group talked about the classes, and there are three important things that the dynamism of the teachers, the interaction among the students, and the real situations that the teachers provoke on them. Okay? It's very important. The teachers are always moving and talking, and they don't have much time to distract themselves, you know? If there is something more interesting, no. You are always working. And we talked about some activities that happened in the class. The card game, they worked in pairs. They had to act a real situation in a store. you bought something, but it's not okay. The blouse is large. How can you exchange this piece of clothes? The blouse is small. They had to try to communicate. Different things to complain, okay? And all of them were engaged. Another real situation at McDonald's, the teacher taught a lot of things, and it was very funny during the class because the name of the foods, the prices were very expensive, and yes. Besides teaching grammar, he taught American culture.
Okay.
Being in McDonald's, what happened? Talked about the tips.
What was the card game? Can we go back to that?
Card game.
I thought the whole play.
Okay.
One student was the client, other student was the seller.
So did they each draw a card that told them what they were? Okay.
Each
Okay.
student had a problem with the clothes, and the student had to, the client had to change and to explain what was the problem.
So the card said what the problem was?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good.
And by real situations, they learned the American culture, how to speak, how to communicate, how to learn the prices of everything, vocabulary.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
That's all.
That's it for me. Okay. Who would like to go next? Gotcha.
So we like most the activities which involve motivation, the teachers who motivated the students a lot. We use the different strategies for different learners because not all teachers used. So we were discussing about that. The ones who balanced the input and the output because it's important to have the same quantity of both, right? And they used body language to explain vocabulary. And the activities we liked the most were normally the extra activities, the different activities. For example, I liked very much in my reading and writing class that the teacher asked students to keep a journal. They have a notebook, a specific notebook for writing assignments. So every writing assignment, like composition and others, they write on that notebook, she collects it, corrects and give back to them. So it's good to observe the evolution of the student. The student can observe that by himself, and the teacher can observe that. Right? We were talking about this activity, Luis and Moisa talked about too, it was very interesting. And you talked about the prepositions of place. Yeah, the one that they practice prepositions of place, right? The next activity too. The Simon Says, right? The teacher used Simon Says to motivate students because sometimes they get bored, so it's good.
Okay.
Lisa told about the teacher asked them to draw a house, practicing parts of the house. So
Okay.
that was very interesting.
Good. Does anyone use journaling with their students where they have a specific notebook that's just for writing?
Journal.
Yeah.
Drew Shannon.
No, you guys.
Me?
No. I will say this, with 40 students it can get very heavy trying to carry around 40 notebooks. But like we've talked about before, you can do kind of a simple thing where maybe you're only collecting 10 of them a week, which means you're getting to everybody once a month. But you'll find that they will tell you things that way that they might never tell you out loud. Especially if they think other people are listening. And it's kind of a nice way to communicate back and forth and build confidence and also sort of build the relationship that you have between yourself and the student in a very sort of private way that they don't have to worry about like losing face in front of anybody else because you're the only one who's reading it. So it might be something to consider if you haven't used it. Okay? Any questions for this group and the activities they had? Great. Next. Okay.
So we discussing on this group, we consider some aspects that we would observe in all class. For example, the instruction ensure the students on meaning and understanding. All of us consider that this point was guaranteed inside the institution because teachers checks the comprehension, the teacher negotiates possible mistakes in group, teacher proposes situations linked with the student reality in ELI and use a variety of input in English and asks teacher general ask for feedback in class. Another aspect is the use of output in English all the time and the experience from the student's reality. It's also considered most of the time on the activities. And for example, Rose told us that the last week it was the best class she has ever seen here because of the tender way that the teacher treats the students. Maybe you can think about the affection in relationship between teacher and the students as a great point to be improved on our practices. And another interesting point is that most of the time teachers can work with 4 skills in the same class. Even when you ask for homework or something like that, but most of the time 4 skills are observed. It means reading, writing, listening, and speaking.
Okay, good. So you guys observed some of the things that were similar among all of the classes,
Yeah.
which was good. Good observation. Okay. Any questions for this group? All right, next. Okay, Patricia?
Okay. So our group has observed too some good points in our observations. For example, we observed level 1, 2, and basic classes. And the teachers, for me, Kathy, the name of the teacher, is so nice with the students. She put her chair in the middle of the class, sit here. She sits near the students all the time, asking questions to check their understanding. And another point is to check the meaning, using examples of their lives. For example, tell me about your routine, your plans for this weekend, okay? Or something in the past, tell what did you do? And they use a formulaic expressions. For example, use expression, do you live in an apartment or in a house, and try to check their understanding all the time, okay? Walking around the students. I think this class was so good to observe. Another point, raise cultural consciousness. For us, it's totally different because here they share their experience of other parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
In our case, it's just Brazilian students.
Mm-hmm.
And here it's so good to listen about Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, China, Japan. It's so good, and all the time share their experience in their country. And another point in the last class, a teacher asked them to do a composition in classroom.
Okay.
It's so good. 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes, and just to look at them, to write. Oh, teacher, please let us to do at home. No, in class.
Yeah, what would be the benefit of doing a writing like that completely in class versus doing it at home? Yes, you know they didn't use the internet? What else?
The time is
The time is set, so they're not taking, who knows, 3 hours to write it? Yeah.
One teacher said that he knows that one man there asks his wife to.
Aha, you can't get your sister, brother, mom, dad to do it for you. Yeah. Okay, good.
And the teachers don't follow all the time the textbooks. They gave them a lot of sheet of papers, extra materials to work in class, to discuss, to write, to read. I think it's so pushing them to talking a lot.
Okay.
Check their understanding. It's so good.
Okay. Good. Any questions for this group, or do you have something to add? Yeah.
I had another kind of experience because, as I was telling them, it was my second class with the same guy, the same teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But this time he corrected a lot of exercises. He spent most of the time correcting exercises and checking pronunciation, intonation, and spelling, everything. And it was a nice class, even being a kind of correction class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just.
And you might, if you saw the same teacher in two different environments, like once reading and writing and once listening and speaking, you might have noticed different behaviors, sometimes very different behaviors, for a variety of reasons. I mean, you never know. Sometimes people are more comfortable teaching one than the other. Sometimes they have formed relationships with the students, or the group is for some reason more cohesive. There are lots of reasons that there can be variation for that. But it's sometimes interesting to see the same person in two different contexts. Yeah. Any questions for this group? All right, and the last group, last but not least. Now, I notice everybody's starting to look a little, please, even though Valkyria is last, she still has important things to say. So, look alive. All right.
The last will be the first. Well, something very interesting that I would like to start comment on is what Patricia said. From all the classes that I observed, the teachers give the students extra material. They aren't very strict on following just the textbook.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something very interesting that makes the student get out of the textbook and can be more interesting, in my opinion. Well, we saw a class that the teacher asked the students to read chapter 7, The Count of Monte
Cristo, yep.
Yeah, they discussed about the books, made questions, and then he gave the students the opportunity to choose between two chapters, which one they would like, they would prefer to read. He taught grammar, taught present perfect, asked the students how to form it, correct homework, worked with the listening from the past participle. Students corrected on the board, and the teacher corrected the students. Sandra told us about her class. It was very interesting because the teacher gave the students guides on how to write composition using the 4 senses: hearing, smelling, tasting, and sighing. No, is it
Sight or seeing? Either one is okay.
Could be, okay. For example, in the book they read
A text in the book.
A text in the book, yeah. And he focused on reading. Do you want to add something?
No, that's it.
Okay. Rosanna told about an activity that was very interesting in the class she watched. It was a quiz. The teacher review and discuss at the same time the story of a film, and this can be adapted to many other situations. The other class explained the grammar deductively. She focused on the formulae, yeah, and she gave the opportunity for the output. Did I forget some things to my friends? I think so.
No? You're good? Okay. Any questions for this group? So what I kind of want you to do now is think about all the things that you have seen and experienced throughout the last 4 weeks. And I want you to kind of put them all together, and this can be classroom observations, it can be workshops, it can be your culture class, it can be your methodology class, it can be your listening speaking class, anything. It's up for debate. And basically each group is going to be at a station, okay? And I'm going to give you 1 minute to write down as many things under that station as possible, and then you will rotate one to the right. If you're over here at this last one, you'll come back over to the first one, okay? You're going to go over here and work together. There is one key. We have very little chalk in this room. I don't know why, but don't move the chalk or you won't be able to write. So when you move, leave the chalk where you are, okay? So fun tasks. This refers to a specific activity or thing that the students did, okay, that you thought was entertaining or fun, okay? Effective procedures are things like, I've heard a lot of you commenting on how many of the teachers here write the agenda up on the board. That might be an example of an effective procedure. Tasks where students were not engaged, where you noticed most of the class, like tuning out or staring at the ceiling or whatever, not doing what they were supposed to do. Positive teacher behaviors. So today I heard some of you say the teacher put their chair in the middle in order to be close to all the students. That would be an example of a positive teacher behavior. Negative teacher behaviors, have fun. Go ahead and let out all the stuff you didn't like, okay? And then classroom setup. These would be things like the arrangement of the chairs or classroom materials that you noticed around, things that you liked about the way the room was configured, or anything else that doesn't fall under one of these categories, okay? So go ahead and right now with your group, stand by one category. Pick one and go there. Don't worry, you will do them all eventually, so just pick where you want to start. Choose someone to be a writer who has neat handwriting. As much as you can. Yep, everything you saw liked. Hold on, wait! Don't start writing!
Don't start writing.
Don't start writing. Okay. Is there one group at each? You raised that. Where's positive teacher behaviors? I need one group over there. Okay. So you are going to get 1 minute, okay, to write down as many things underneath that heading as you can. When I yell, switch, okay, you are going to move one to the right. The people who are here will come to the first one, okay?
But we have 7 groups and 6.
No, there should only be 6 groups.
6 groups?
Yeah, I counted 6 groups.
Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah.
But there are 2 groups here?
There shouldn't be.
And here, only one group or 2?
I mean, it should be the people who you were sitting with. The group should be the same. So there's 1, 2. Who is it for? There's nobody at Fun Tasks.
Sorry.
What we understood was that it would rotate. But we are gonna do this. Yes, John, we're gonna go there.
Stand with the people who were in your group.
No, just because they were already here. That's okay. Sorry.
Okay. I didn't say go! I did not say go! We are missing one piece of chalk already. Who took the chalk? You guys have chalk?
Yes.
All right. Now, are you ready? Yeah. Okay, go. Share, yell things out. Get them to write down stuff.
Flashcards.
Flashcards.
the white, the little white board.
Chamada roll call. I don't know. It's a classroom setup too.
Board.
What is this? Switch.
Go, 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 go! One to the right. One to the right. Very good. Excellent. What else? Don't let it say anything.
Check. Check the
Switch! Go, go, go! Next one, go! My God, I'm sorry for my terrible camera work.
Who had the shop?
Can be.
Technology equipment. But what kind?
And the kids of the students, right?
Use of the camera, the use of the internet,
But they use it.
they use it. They
small
use it.
whiteboard. Small whiteboard.
Go, 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 go!
Position.
Position the furniture and
Always late. Delayed.
Okay, stop. Turn around and look at. No, I did not say move. No? Turn around and look. Turn around and look. That's it. Okay. You're going to now move one to the right, but instead of writing, I would like you to please read what is there, and if any information is repeated, please cross out one of the repeats. Okay, so that each piece of information should be unique. Okay. Yes. Yes. Where were you at? Where am I? Yeah.
call.
Atrasado. Então, o que é autoridade?
I didn't understand what's that.
Negativo.
I put a question mark.
Autoridade não é negativo.
Usually it means like someone saying the students' names out loud to see if they are present in class.
Se você considerar
Oh,
ser exceto,
like Telma here?
Então, teacher
Sandra, is that
authority,
yes.
você vai fazer uma coisa.
this is
Okay, erase
call.
it.
Roll call.
Autoritário, então nós temos autoritário.
Okay, once you have finished reading through it, you can sit down. That was
Eu
perfect.
acho que Pra mim, tu se apagar,
Interesting. Yeah, I think that could be similar. I'm going to give you a 5-minute break because I want to take pictures of these so that I can post them up. Okay, so you have time to go get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, whatever. Please be back by 3:30. Okay?